everyone, to the Fixed Ops Roundtable After Dark. And you can tell something's different today, right, Ted?
Kara, something looks really different. And by the way, you look great. So what's the occasion?
Well, the Roaring 20s is coming up, so I'm just getting in the spirit a little early here. And I'm loving the 1920s attire, Ted, but I'm a little disappointed because I thought you were going to dress up.
Well, you know what? That's still yet to come, my friend. And so we got a little bit of time left for that. But hey, it's great that we are in the mode. We have two amazing guests, Kara, with us tonight on the show. They are from Dealer Pay, Julie Douglas, the sales lady extraordinaire, and from Detroit area from Dealer Pay, Melissa Bates. Ladies, welcome to the After Dark version of the Fixed Ops Roundtable.
Thank you, Ted. Nice to be here.
Hey, great to have you. And Kara, Julie lit up the show at the May the 4th event. So we're really so fortunate to have her and to have her back. And by the way, Kara, are we live tonight?
We are live. We are actually live on multiple platforms. Once again, tonight, we are live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and now YouTube even. So make sure you catch us on one of those platforms every Monday and Wednesday night. And the comments will be popping in here shortly. So if you want to leave us a comment down below, go ahead and do it, and we'll show it on the screen and maybe get some answers for you guys.
All right. And I know we got some questions coming up tonight too. So by the way, I want to thank our exclusive sponsor for tonight's show. And they're with us every Monday night and Wednesday night. They are BG Products over in Wichita, Kansas. The leader in the industry, BG Products, Partners Beyond Products. I want to thank you for all that you do for our industry. Julie, they are in 53% of United States retail automotive dealers. So
wow.
talk about market share, right? There's no one even in second place. So
that's fantastic.
And by the way, over Kara's right shoulder, as we face her, is the 50-year anniversary, the first 50 years, Melissa, of BG Products. So we want to congratulate them on that as well. All right. So what do we do now?
We don't know. I don't know. I'm the only one dressed up here, so I feel out of place.
I didn't get the memo.
Well, you look great. And we might as well tell everybody what you are dressed up for. And it is the Fixed Ops Roundtable that's coming up in September. Is that right, Kara?
It is. It's coming up quick. It is going to be September 20th, 21st, and 22nd. And we are so excited for it because it is the Roaring 20s themed. So make sure you catch it. Grab your complimentary tickets now at fixedopsroundtable.com to get in on all the fun. And dressing up is not required, but it is encouraged.
I understand there's going to be a lot of people dressing up, Kara. And by the way, this is not the only event we have coming up, is it?
It is not. We have so many actually already planned. As you can see on the screen now, September, November, just a short turnaround. And then January and May will all be virtual and online. And you can grab your complimentary tickets to all of these shows at fixedopsroundtable.com. We are so excited to have more success with every single show moving forward. And I know the themes keep getting better and better. So I'm excited.
Yeah, and we're excited as well. And also, I know Tony Owens over in Ohio is excited. So Tony, thanks for see, Kara, already the compliments start right on the outfit. So.
I love it.
All right. Very good. And all right. So, and I see David also is with us from Australia. And David, good morning to you also. And I know we have you coming up on the show here in just a little bit. First, what I'd like to do, though, tonight, I want to congratulate you, Julie, because I understand you had a big event in your life just recently.
Yes. Thank you, Ted. I got married a few weeks ago.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. It was beautiful. It's interesting to be gone that long out of work and come back and, jump right back into it. But that's all I know how to do. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't know about that. Kara might know a thing or two about that. And I saw some great pictures, by the way, Julie. Where'd you go?
Siesta Key Beach, Florida. So we rented a house just across the street and walked across the street and got married at sunset.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah, it
wow.
was nice.
wonderful.
Just the kids and the parents. Nothing too crazy.
All right. Well,
So
very good.
thank
And
you.
Mike Weldon, good evening to you as well over at the Hansel Automotive Group out in Santa Rosa, California. So appreciate you. And Tim Wilson, yeah, we can start now. In fact, Tim, I hear that you're coming over to Kara's social media boot camp. Kara, when is that coming up, by the way?
Oh my gosh, I am so excited. It is July 19th, 20th, and 21st. And yeah, we're hosting a social media boot camp for dealers at our stores here in Madisonville, Texas. And we are beyond excited. All of our curriculum is now done, and we have quite a few people attending, but we're also going to have some in September and August.
So, Julie, this is the first time I've heard of anything like that, of a dealer or dealer group doing that. So, Kara, I'm wondering if in September, if you can come back with Eric. I mean, of course, you're going to be at the event, but if you can give us a report on that and maybe a debrief with some of the, the high points of what, the dealers got out of that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I know we're planning on doing a little survey at the end to see, what they like, what they wish they would have seen that maybe we left out. But it is just a phase one, but I think they are going to take a lot out of this boot camp, and they'll have a little booklet to take home, lots of notes, and we'll see. We're going to follow up with each of them to see what impact we've had on their dealerships.
I love it.
That's
All right.
great.
And tonight, Kara, we're going to learn a lot more about what Dealer Pay does. Melissa, you are new, I believe, to Dealer Pay. So tell us, if you don't mind, Melissa, a little bit about yourself and what role you're going to be playing there.
So my name is Melissa Bates. I've recently moved to Detroit area, about a year now. I'm from Idaho, born and raised in Idaho. And yeah, I just got on board with Dealer Pay about 3 weeks ago, and just learning about the company and getting on, everything, ready to put myself out there in the area and help all the dealerships.
Where in Idaho?
Boise.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a
Boise,
beautiful
Idaho.
place.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow. So from Boise to Detroit, that may not be like the common thing. It's usually like maybe the other way.
No, so I actually was vacationing in Florida and met my now boyfriend, and so he's from here. So I just kind of moved my life here. So so far so good.
All right. All right. Well, congratulations. Very good. And so Dealer Pay, what is Dealer Pay and what does it do? And I know we've got some questions that we're going to be asking Julie, Kara. So maybe let's get started with those.
All right. Y'all sure you want these questions?
Well, I understand they're easy. So well, we'll see. Maybe not. Okay. So number one, does Dealer Pay work exclusively with dealerships? And before we answer that, Julie, tell us a little bit about what the company does.
Sure. So Dealer Pay is a payment solution provider, credit card processing, check processing, full point of sale, payment acceptance, all wrapped up into this nice package to deliver to dealers for benefits in both fixed ops as well as sales finance. But it's designed to really encompass all the payment acceptance in the dealership and organize it in a fashion where it's really easy for dealers to use. And it's also designed so that customers really have that great experience at the end when they're making the payment. So, Ted, I've been doing this for, I hate to say, 22 years. Dealer Pay has been in existence for just under 10. But we're rocking and rolling and hiring and expanding and helping dealers all over the country.
Wow.
All right. So I'm going to assume that's a yes, Julie. You work exclusively with dealers.
That's true. Yes. The solution we provide was actually built for dealers. So it's not exactly something I can put in a restaurant or a hotel. And it's designed not just for, specific departments, but to capture all the departments in the dealership.
And Julie, I would imagine, in your industry, there are not a lot of companies that are specific to dealers. A lot of times the dealers, have folks in there who do other things and, for other places. And it's not, like you said, developed for just dealers.
Yeah. And, dealerships are unique from a payments perspective in the fashion where there's several businesses under one roof. And there's a lot of intricacies that go along with the reporting and what needs to happen, even from a security perspective. And we've just really drilled down into the nuts and bolts of what is going to be the best solution for these guys and gals, and make sure it's a cost-effective solution that helps them, turn a profit.
All right. So Tony Owens, I hear some good things here in what Dealer Pay does. All right. Question number 2, Melissa. Does Dealer Pay offer mobile solutions that allow you to accept payments using your phone or tablet? Yes or no? And by the way, why would this be important to accept a payment mobily?
So yes, we are mobile payment accepted. So we can send either a text, email, for that bill, and they can pay it whether they're getting an oil change and they're just sitting there, they can just pay it real quick. That way when they're done or they're buying parts or whatnot. So it just makes it convenient, saves the customer time. And so that's a good feature. So yes.
And now since we're integrated with DMS, we're actually able to attach a copy of an RO to a payment link. And also our very own mobile app is coming out of development for both a phone or a tablet to extend payment options, whether a customer's, in the waiting room, out on the lot, or wherever they're at, to be able to go to them to improve that experience.
And by the way, is that long overdue in our industry that you have this option?
Oh gosh, yes. I mean, there's been either that concept of the customer being present, to make the payment with the terminal or, over the phone. And we all know the risks of taking payments over the phone. Not just, maybe the ability of, actually getting in touch with the advisor, but there's a lot that can be concerning with respect to fraud and security. So we've really put a lot of effort into our card not present or mobile solutions so that we're not only protecting the dealership, but also the card holder, and making it extremely convenient for them to pay. That way you can just keep turning business and not worry about trying to get a hold of someone or getting them in the dealership if they're not able to do so with their, life events. So
I love that idea because I go everywhere with my phone. But you know what's on the back of my phone? All of my cards. Isn't that great? I'm like, if I lose this, it's going to be bad.
You're in trouble.
Yep. I can always pay for something if I have my phone because everything's right here.
Yep.
And I have the card saved inside. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's a lot of new regulations the FTC is making dealers do with respect to, security. And we've really taken a large initiative to get in front of it as much as possible. The last thing we want is our dealers to have any fraud or any issues with, someone paying with someone else's card. So there's a lot of measures. It's not very sexy to talk about security, but it's really important. And I think, if the dealer doesn't have to do much and they just know their provider's got it covered, that's what I want to do for them. So.
Yeah, it's a peace of mind actually that you help give the dealer as well. And you mentioned the FTC. There's been lately a lot of scrutiny and a lot of new things coming down from the Federal Trade Commission that has really not, maybe been so much hands-on the last 8, 9, 10 years. But it seems now they suddenly are. And what about a dealer like Ed Roberts, who's got all these mobile trucks out there? Because you see companies like Ford Motor Company are really going to that. Henson brand dealerships. Kara, I've seen the mobile van that you folks have got. Can this help with something like that as well?
Of course. So whether it's the mobile app or using the hosted payment links that we provide, it just makes it very easy and quick. And if the consumer's savvy and they click a link, they can just simply upload their payment information through their mobile wallet. The dealership can even potentially save that customer's information for the future if they're a repeat customer, especially, business to business transactions, or like I said, repeat customers. Just makes it easy. It's as if, it's natural. Like, hey, can I go ahead and get this done today? Sure. Do you want me to bill MasterCard 3, 4, 5, 6? So it just happens. So.
And by the way, how important to a dealer is this payment issue, to be able to do this effectively with security and to do it easily for the customer? How high on the totem pole is that for the dealer?
Well, I've been doing this, like I said, for 22 years, and electronic payments are as high a volume in the dealer space than they've ever been before. So, not just with the FTC regulations, but payments in general. So, we want to make sure, that the customer feels comfortable giving the dealership their payment information, but we also want to make it very convenient, give them options. Make sure that, they understand that, this is the last experience typically that, the customer has in the dealership. So we want to make it very easy and make them comfortable doing it, all while giving the dealership a lot of tools to really turn things fast and keep it very organized from a reporting perspective.
Okay. Question number 3, Julie. Can dealer pay improve workflow and save you time? Tell us about that.
Of course. So most of the time, prior to a big push and fixed ops, my decision maker in the dealership was the office manager or controller. So they were, super concerned with making sure all the transactions that took place in the dealership were identified. As you can probably imagine, there's a single amount of an oil change, right? But they don't know necessarily what customer that's associated with. So we've gone extra lengths to make sure that all the reporting is extremely robust and detailed, so they know exactly who's who and what's what for both sales and fixed ops. But as far as making everything efficient, our system is very user-friendly. It's very fast, and customers like that. And we do push modern technology so that it's, Apple Pay, Android Pay, all the contactless payments, plus like what we talked about with payment links and even securing online payments for dealers. And then what makes that workflow easy is we bring it all into one system so they don't have to go several places to get it done.
Wow. And I just saw Steve Apicella on the screen. I don't know if you know Steve, Julie, but he's got a company out in Colorado called Strategic DX. Stephen, welcome tonight. And by the way, Carrie, you remember Steve was one of our best practice winners at the last event. Steve says it is critically important from a customer experience perspective to simplify each engagement touch points before, during, and after the sale. And Steve is involved, Melissa, on both the F&I, on the variable side, and on the fixed ops side, in bringing those two together, in making sure that if there's a product that the customer purchased in the F&I office, like a vehicle service agreement, that the service advisor doesn't have to say, which one did you purchase, and so on and so forth. So
Right.
I think that's very important.
Yeah, agreed. I agree.
So,
it's all
and
about
by the way,
customer experience.
Steve, I'd recommend that, Steve, that you and Julie probably have a lot to talk about because, you're two different solutions. So, I think real critical for that to happen as well. So great point. And number 4, Melissa, can dealer pay help to increase CSI scores? So I don't really understand Melissa, how could that happen? How could that increase a CSI score, payment processing?
So yes, it does increase the CSI score, but I'm going to bring this one to Julie because I know she'll be able to answer it way better than me.
So, just like we said, it's the customer experience. It's the last thing that they're going to do at the dealership. So when they're, doing their survey, if they had a great experience, if they didn't have to stand in a line, if they didn't have to wait for, the advisor to talk to a cashier or maybe to another, employee to figure out what's going on, it just, it makes the process faster, and everybody lives on convenience and fast convenience these days. And it's very important to make sure that customer remains happy all the way from the front to the back of the sale. It's going to, encourage them to come back. If it was smooth and easy, they're going to tell someone about it. And before you know it, they're spending more money, which is exactly what dealers want them to do. So we want to play a role in that just by making it easy and convenient and secure, and making sure they've got the latest tech and security in place.
JB Floyd, welcome. I have not seen you on the show in a while, so thank you so much for being here. And he mentions that getting the right person for the right job is the first key, then the tech to make the customer experience the best it can be. Yeah. And you know what? How many times, Julie, have we seen, a payment situation delay the customer, and they have to be there a whole lot longer than they need to be? It's frustrating for the customer, and it's frustrating, Julie, for the customers behind that customer, who want to be, in and out as quick as they can be as well.
Yeah, and there's a lot of intricacies to payments that a lot of people don't realize. Everything from risk controls to, just what if the system's down? So we put a lot of effort into uptime, but also on the back end, what's happening behind the scenes, which is really the flow of the payments, to do the authorization, to the back end acquirer to get the approval on the transaction. We just want that stuff flowing so fast that there's no disruption in the business. And if there is a challenge or a situation that occurs, they can reach us directly for very fast support. But yeah, I mean, transactions in a dealership need to be flowing without interruption, because otherwise it's going to cause an issue with the customer.
So Kara, take us back 2.5 years ago when I first saw you at Henson Brand, and you were talking, Kara. By the way, Julie, she was, very young Kara, okay, just out of college at the dealership, and she was, debating a career going to law school, Melissa, or, starting and doing this, I guess maybe temporarily, in the dealership world. And here's Kara, out when the world changed in March of 2020, calling customers in. The dealership, first of all, Julie, is open. So that gets my attention, right? It's not closed like it does up here in the New York area. That dealership is open, and she's calling people in to come in and buy their vehicle and have it, Kara, shipped out to customers. So, Kara, I would imagine that you encountered these payment challenges, very early in the process.
Oh yeah, and we were advertising. We still advertise at our dealerships here at Henson Brand that we deliver absolutely free all over the nation. And so, a lot of dealerships in the north were closed down completely. Even some of our own stores within Foundation were having a lot more issues than us here in Texas. And so we got a lot of attention from out-of-state customers during that time because they could not go to their dealership that was nearby. And yeah, when you're talking about processing payments all over the US, it throws a large kink in everything, trying to make sure that we have payments up front, we're taking deposits on time and setting up all of this, make sure that the deal gets funded before we ship the car out. And it was quite the process, but that being said, it was a blessing in disguise at the time because it got us through the entire pandemic. When we were already doing that, we didn't have to catch up because it was our standard to begin with. So a lot of stores were trying to model what we were doing and calling us, asking us how we were managing all of these cars getting shipped out all over the United States. So it's pretty interesting, but it does have its challenges, but we've worked them out and we're getting it fine-tuned finally.
And Julie, I would imagine the world changed for you as well, because there were probably a lot of dealers who, up until that point, Melissa, said, you know what, I don't really want to have to bother with doing this kind of stuff. But now that was the only way to stay in business and to keep the doors open. So Julie, talk to us about that, accepting those payments, and now how that has become, totally accepted. And if a dealer doesn't have it, they need to get with, with dealer pay.
Yeah. So, I mean, COVID was, definitely eye-opening, not just for my company and our solution, but even the back-end processors who put just a ton of risk controls on things. As you guys know, dealers process sale payments, but there's also that concept of transaction management. If there is a refund or a credit that's needed or an adjustment that's needed to be done, they shouldn't have to jump through hoops to try to get a hold of someone on the phone to make it happen. It should be a seamless, tool that they can use to make adjustments. But yeah, I mean, electronic payments, especially card not present payments, were just absolutely through the roof. So, we had to make some, back end adjustments on our end to make sure that dealers are still not only able to process their normal sales, but all these additional sales that were coming in that were typically, in the dealership, and now they're not in the dealership. So we were lucky because we had a lot of the technology already in place, like Melissa had mentioned before, our send payment request feature and some of the contactless, payment methods. But we're going to continue to go down that road. We're going to be expanding with buy now, pay later. We're going to be adding some other payment choices, even third parties like Venmo and PayPal, and just arm dealers with as many ways as possible to capture payment securely and keep them profitable. I bring it up slightly, but the concept of surcharging is still on the table. And, we're just trying to arm our solution with as many tools for the dealership to turn that profit. So,
and I feel like that's getting more and more important with the inventory shortage and the EV movement and whatnot. I mean,
Yep.
we take deposits on cars that aren't even built yet.
Yeah.
We get them here and ship them straight to the customer. And it's got to be a seamless process.
Yep.
And if it's not, things get crazy and you don't want the car getting shipped somewhere and then realizing things were not the way it should have been.
And dealers really have to, if they don't have a solution like Dealer Pay, they really have to pay attention to the details, because that concept of a chargeback is still really relevant. I mean, they could do work on a vehicle and not follow the proper payment, rules, and the customer could charge it back and they can be completely out. So, we really do try to make sure that the I's are dotted and T's are crossed, even if it's not them actually doing it, it's our system doing it behind the scenes.
So, Julie, can you also make life easier for that poor service director or fixed ops director, who's had, the person from the office come out to them every day, with what we used to call the hit list, with the ones that we're following. I know, Kara, you wouldn't know what that is, okay? But but
it's the 20s. What are you talking about?
That's right. but no, obviously every dealer knows what that is. And so, can you make that person's life a little easier?
Yes, absolutely. And it's just giving them the tools to be able to manage their transactions. And, our system will automatically identify what it's for. So that eliminates probably half of the hit list there. But the other part of the hit list is, some portion of the transaction wasn't done correctly. So if it needs to be fixed, we need to give them easy tools to do it. And, but yeah, I'm familiar with the hit list, Ted.
Yeah, and I think all too many managers are as well, and they want to have their job made a lot easier. So I've heard that Dealer Pay, helps to provide that. So, and I guess the last question on my behalf, Julie, is, do you custom your approach to the dealership or the dealer group and their needs? Because, depending on what state they're in and what product and what franchise, there's probably some nuances between, not that you haven't seen them before, but little things different from here to there.
Sure. I mean, we still do, a lot of business with dealers who still have that singular cashier. And then I've got, other dealers have 15 hardware devices, in their dealership, everywhere from sales to fixed ops. So we really want to focus on what's causing any bottlenecks or any challenges for the dealership and what's costing them money, and then come in and show some solutions to help improve it and streamline it. We've got a laundry list of new stuff coming out, which I'm super excited about. Just like I said, to give dealers more options to make money, both in sales and fixed ops, and reduce the risk that they have. So yeah, it's definitely exciting because, the consumer wants to have options, especially nowadays where inventory may be, a difficult, they can't buy a new car basically, so they have to get theirs fixed, and they want to have options to be able to pay for it. So I'm excited about adding some of those features to our point of sale system.
And what you just said is what I'm hearing throughout the industry. If they can't get that new car or can't afford that, or have to wait, they need to get that car, the current vehicle, repaired, fixed, and maintained. A question here from JB Floyd. Julie, of all the payment options, what have you seen to be the most popular payment method? And these are the present day methods. Is it still credit card, PayPal, Cash App, etc.?
It's still credit card. It's still credit card. It's a lot less debit card than it used to be, but it's still a credit card. Yes, people want to pay with their credit card to get, points. People pay with their credit card because, they can, have a balance. But yes, I process, millions upon millions of dollars in transactions for dealers, and it's getting bigger and bigger, especially even in the sales department for, like you said, Kara, the deposits and down payments on vehicles. But fixed ops average tickets used to be somewhere around 250, 300 on average. Now they're 450, 500, 550. So, it's growing, good and bad for whomever you talk to. But, I'm happy to be able to deliver, solid solutions to help the dealers get through it. So,
Julie and Melissa, I don't know what you have planned yet for this September event. But I guess I'll know pretty soon. But some of these stats that you're telling us right now, like those average transaction amounts, as part of what you do at the next show, can you come back maybe and share some data like that,
Sure.
with our audience, because I think not just for the dealer people, but people throughout the industry would be really interested in hearing, how some of that is changing. And, maybe, like JB Floyd said, while it's credit card, what's on the horizon, some of the things that you just told us that you're working on that are coming. And a big article, Kara, in today's or yesterday's Automotive News is, people paying now with Venmo and dealers now accepting, solutions like that, Julie.
Yep. So we can give them options with send payment request to pay with Venmo, PayPal, or even give them a very easy way to put online payments on their own website to have customers pay directly. And, normally dealers would be like, well, my office will hate that because we won't know, what it's for. But actually, our system will help identify the transaction and move it into the reporting. So no hit list items there. So.
All right. Well, that's good.
Yeah.
All right. So we have an event coming up in September, and Kara, tell us about.
I'm ready. It says it all here. The Fixed Ops Roundtable, the Roaring 20s.
Wow.
Grab your pearls and your sequins and come join us.
I did the pearls. That's all I could pull off tonight.
I'll be ready. Don't worry.
And by the way, Julie, we are going to have an actual Best Dressed Awards, okay, for that event. So, come ready for that. And we're also going to have that not just for the speakers and the panelists, but we're going to have that for attendees as well.
Ooh.
And I understand that there's some things in the works with some RSVPs that are going to be going out that people will be able to tie into their social media. So, Kara, what are the dates again on this big event?
Yes, it's coming up quick, guys. It's September 20th, 21st, and 22nd. All virtual, online, 3-day virtual event. And you can grab your complimentary tickets now at fixedopsroundtable.com. And like I said, and Ted said, dressing up is encouraged.
All right, cool. And folks, if you want to see tonight's show, if you missed any part of it, that show is going to be available right away in the next few minutes. And it's going to be on YouTube. Is that right?
YouTube, yes. You can catch us there live, or all of our playbacks from previous shows will be on there. So if you missed it and you want to watch one of our shows, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel now. Great.
And I am certainly no expert on YouTube. Julie, you and I know an expert. We're just talking about him offline, about Benny Mazier. And Benny, if you're watching tonight, if you're out there, I want to talk to you about the YouTube as well and some ideas that we've got. So, hey, great having you with us tonight, Melissa and Julie.
Thank you for having us. It's good to be here.
Yeah, a lot of fun. So looking forward to the show that's coming up in September, and what you're going to wear, of course, and what we're going to talk about, and just blowing this thing up with Dealer Pay. So, looking to, to do all that. So thank you so much for all you do for our industry.
Thanks, Ted. Thanks, Kara.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you, ladies. And I can't wait to learn more about everything y'all are doing and the future of Dealer Pay. So thanks for being on the show tonight.
Awesome. Thanks so much. So exciting.
Of course. And on behalf of Ted Ings, Melissa and Julie from Dealer Pay, I'm Kara Delane. Thanks for watching. We'll see you Wednesday at 8 p.m.
Bye-bye.